13, and we'll be doing best of fives instead of the best of threes that we had in all of our matches yesterday. All right, and both players off with double pills to start. That's always a nice position, and I really like what Savage is putting together here. She's got a chance to make this. There
Woo!
we go. Great drop combo.
Very, very nice from Savage. Adelito only has a little bit of blue exposed on his board. But again, this is Adelito. He's going to be able to uncover more of it in just a second. Um, looking over at Savage's board, now she's got almost all blue on her top line.
Yeah, and that can really come to bite you there if the doc decides that he doesn't want to hand out a whole lot of blue. But so far, so good on Savage's side as Adelito with about a 7 virus lead here, but not a lot of access to red. And, so far it hasn't been an issue. In fact, though, he's only got 2 red viruses left. So we'll see if that has an effect later on in the game because we know the doc likes to give quite a bunch of reds, provided, of course, that
Mhm.
that's not the color that you need.
Yes, there goes that last red of Adelito's. So the rest of what he has is just yellow and blue. I do like what I could see him set up. He does need a blue yellow to set off that combo in rows 1 and 2. But Savage now in the lead with 2 viruses. This last yellow's going to get her out at a 139.
Oh, and Adelito doesn't use the yellow blue for what he needed it for, and also gave up a chance to create it. Almost tops himself
Ooh,
out, but gets out at a 156. That was, I would say, a rare
ooh.
misstep from Adelito, who usually has a little cleaner setups than that. But again, it's 2, 3 in the morning over there, so let's blame that for it.
And I don't believe that Adelito has a national holiday tomorrow. So that's gonna potentially, um, hurt that a little bit more, if he's sleep deprived or anything like that. We do love that Adelito, participates with everything, even with a different time zone when he's in Turkey. Um, so we do always wanna, remember that, even with things like that, we do have, a good international contingency, if you wanna say. And we really enjoy that, that they like to play with us.
Definitely appreciate our semifinalist coming from 3 different countries this weekend. So, congratulations. You know, you guys are great. Anyway, back to the match that's going on right now. We've got Savage with about a 9 virus lead and not a whole lot of time difference. So what you see is what you get here on the board. Adelino with a really smart setup coming up here, though, is going to be able to get this going as soon as he gets a couple more reds. That's really his pain point right now is red. Uh, and honestly, even the yellow that he's got down there is blocked up by red. And of course, the doc's going to give him yellow blues when he can't really use them. But this yellow red's going to be great. A couple more reds, and he'll be joining Savage in level number 12.
Savage has been working on this red horizontal setup. Um, he was left with very minimal garbage, and what it was yellow, which she didn't have exposed on her board at all. So she was using that as strategic garbage. Adelito, his board looks very slipped, and there's not a lot of red until you get pretty far down on the board. So I'm not so sure about that for him.
Well, luckily for him, this isn't the last level in the block, so he's going to have chance, 2 levels worth of catching up that he can do. But when Savage has opportunities like that quad she just took down at the bottom, that is going to really give her some good advantages. Adelito, though, pulling off a really nice combo there. He would love a yellow blue, is not going to get it until after he's already dropped the combo off, but should figure out. A red yellow at this point would work for him. Has blocked that off, but now at this point, He's not going to have to worry too much about trying to get this combo pulled off, as everything can just be taken vertically.
Yeah, Savage only has one yellow. She's been getting a lot of yellows recently. Um, and only has a couple of blues left. I like that setup that she's made to be able to try to take out that yellow horizontally, but still prioritizing the reds because there's so many on her board. And then the three in column one, she'll be able to take as a group. So she would love a double red for that. She'll get two reds. Instead, she'll be out at a 530.
We're going to have to keep an eye on Adelito, who has made quite a bit of a comeback. In fact, is going to be out at a 539. So only 9 seconds down. He came down from what
Hmm.
was a 14 virus deficit at the start of that 12 to being back only three at the start of this 13. So definitely Adelito doing Adelito things. We'll see if he can manage to work in the comeback, or if Savage will be taking this first game. It's going to be really exciting to see.
Yeah, Savage needs a lot of blue help at this point, and Adelito needs no blues at all until just now. So it is a different mirror between the two boards where you can see just how different they are and just what everybody needs in order to complete their boards.
And really good plays from Savage there to get herself out of some trouble. Had some garbage, but found ways around it. And I think she's going to do some of the same after she gets this double red. Decides to use it over on the right hand side instead of clearing garbage with it, or instead of clearing viruses with it. Is going to be able to get this as a double there, and maintaining just a two virus lead over Adelito. So this one is coming down to the wire. This is the last level in this
Oh,
block, so looks like it. The lead has
I'm
changed.
sorry, I was watching Savage that it peeked over at Adelito and I saw like 20
Everything
viruses
explodes.
disappear at once.
Yeah, definitely the Adelito way of doing things. Real
Mhm.
smart combo there for Savage. She's wanting to handle a couple of extra horizontals, but she's going to need to get to him fast. She is two viruses behind now. Adelito with the lead. It is now 6-5, now 5-5. Savage with the better setups, but Adelito just needs three blues before Savage gets two reds. It's going to come down to the wire. There's two reds for or two blues for Adelito, two reds for Savage. And Adelito with his third, it is
Oh,
a 2 second game.
wow.
And it comes down to last pill down. We're going to give it just a second because it was as close as it was. We're going to confirm the times, but at this point, I'm fairly confident we're going to be able to say that Adelito takes game number one, but we will wait on that confirmation.
But as people in our chat have mentioned, this was a very fast pace, especially at the beginning of those levels, this level block. Um I think Packy said it was blistering. Um and I completely agree. Um and the fact that it comes down to um potentially comes down to 2 seconds um between Adelito, who has lost one match in the last since February of last year, um, and Savage, that just shows that that everybody is striving, everybody's practicing, everybody's achieving greater results, and it is great to see.
Yeah, those times, by the way, within 30 seconds of the top 20 on the hot times board. Um, I be honest, I've never had to play this level block in competition, so Savage giving us her live reaction. So I wasn't really sure what a hot time was here. The hottest, of course, is Adelito hitting a 6:42, a time that, 6 to 9, it's a winning time quite regularly. Uh, it's
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
ceiling. community, we're not even at it yet, and it's just a testament to how strong these players are. But yeah, sub seven is possible, but even these sub eights, sub eight is all right. We do have confirmation by 1 second. It is Adelito with game number one. So GG's to both of them,
Mhm.
and we are going to get our readies from our players and get ready to start it all over again. That was game one. We got more.
Exactly. But as you were saying, the limit is increasing, to quote a 20-year-old movie, the limit does not exist, really, at this point.
All right, I'll go for that. All right, we've got our readies from our players. And three, two, one, and pills. Suppose that is a way to put it. And look at this double pills to start off again, and both players have already a place to put them.
Oh, wow.
Savage has got to be very happy to see double yellows to start her board off because she
Mhm.
had a lot of use for them, and is showing that she wants to take this yellow in column two out horizontally, but is kind of running out of options to do that, and that's going to create a little bit of garbage. Meanwhile, speaking of yellows, look at Alito's board and how little yellow access he's actually got.
Mhm.
He's handling some horizontals himself, but would really like to get down to the part of his board where yellow actually exists.
Exactly. Both players about the same heights on their board as well. I like what Savage, is setting up here. Right there, she gets that big combo. Very nice. And I think Adelito's gonna be setting up potentially some horizontals with those reds on his right side. We'll see if he actually does that. Sometimes my predictions about what he wants to do are completely wrong.
Yeah, Savage is setting herself up for a double horizontal. There it's going to drop
Woo!
and makes a nice
Woo!
cross. That's a good play for her. And oh, the doc just giving her exactly what she needs. This double yellow, again, the double yellows at the end, just as helpful as the ones at the beginning. So it's now
Mhm.
4-1. And Adelito, though, with a 3 second time advantage, he's going to be out first at a 139. Savage going to be out at her next yellow if it ever gets here. There it is, out at a 150.
I I'm not super happy with Adelito's board. It doesn't have a lot of blue access, it just has that one. I like Savage's board, especially with that T that she just made.
That was
Really,
pretty.
really like that play from her.
Yeah, that was a really nice play. Very heads up. And again, as we were saying yesterday, that's kind of the sort of play that you would only see at at this level or above, just a couple of years ago. And now it's kind of essential crosses and all of what we considered swag plays. Now they're just normal plays. And I love that
Mhm.
about this community, how quickly things are moving forward and growing. And speaking of moving forward, we've got Adelito moving forward to a 6 virus lead now.
Mhm. Savage with another nice drop cross and then another drop combo. Um, Adelito's got a lot of yellow garbage on his board. Not a lot of use for yellows. He's only got 4 or 5 left. And some of that garbage, I'm not sure can really be used for good clears. So, he does have some of that in the way for him, but hopefully, he can easily clear that out. I highly doubt that he won't find some use for it.
Savage has found herself in the same situation Adelito was in for most of the tail end of his last board. She does not have access to yellow whatsoever. So it's any yellow she gets is strategic garbage at best and just a big ol' honk of junk at worst. But so far, every pill having at least one usable half for her, and that's going to work out
Mhm.
really well as she is now taking the lead. And RNG dependent may actually come out of here first. She is going to be out at a 354. Adelito finding Adelito things to do is going to be out at a 358. So Savage with a really good 11 to keep herself moving forward.
Yeah, this is neck and neck, especially with what we saw in the last game from these two players. Um, and you can see RNG can change something in a level, in half a level. Um, so um, the just the level of play from both of these players is just wonderful to see.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. And oh, look at this setups that Savage has got. Looks great. Adelito again doing what we know now as Adelito things. It all looks complicated. Wait for it. Wait for
Mhm.
it. It's I think it's a blue that he's waiting for. But because I haven't been actively watching his screen constantly, I'm never 100% sure what he's putting together. Looks like he was just dealing with a heavy garbage situation. Most of that he's been working with has been a bit of a pain, but it yeah, that's just the way the doctor plays sometimes. As he is down 10 viruses to Savage.
Savage again with not a huge amount to do with yellow. She's just got 3 and 2 of them are begging to be taken out in a horizontal way like that one. But again, she's really setting up everything that she needs for this end game with everything else that she has. And
Oh,
she could
this is
take these out in
great.
an algebra out of 547.
That's yet again a really solid pace. Uh, she's if this is a 2 minute 13, we're looking at something that is again just right on the edge of those hot times. And that's something that
Mhm.
Savage can certainly pull off. But we can't ever count Adelito out because
Mhm.
every level, every match is just something new to see for him. And he's
And
actually
Adelito's doing the exact same thing where, oh, he did not wanna take that out in an L. He didn't have the if he had
it would have
a double red, he would have. For a
exactly.
second, I thought it was gonna be the exact same way that Savage got out of that level as well.
Yeah, shout out to the exact same. Um, he's probably watching right now. Anyway, yeah, this is a really nice board for Savage, and actually Adelito's looks really nice too. A lot of double opportunities.
Mhm.
Expect these two to just blaze right through this one. And I don't know about you, Larva. I feel like we are on our way to another photo finish.
I think so too. I like this drop T from Savage.
Oh,
She saw what was coming up next. She is always an advocate for looking into the next box and seeing what's gonna come up, and that really helped her, with that here.
yeah.
And she's going okay, I see what she's doing. She's gonna take the vertical and then probably the blue horizontals. And again, she only has those 2 yellows way off in the corner. Oh, she
Ooh.
discards that red. I don't know if that was necessarily the wisest thing, but I think that she thought for a while and then said, "Nope, we're not doing this anymore."
I think a blue red was what she was looking for and missed it when it came, but it is now 14 to 5. Savage with the advantage, but having to get some reds out of the way. She's got the opportunity to take this yellow horizontally. I think wisely choosing not to do it, even though
Mhm.
the doctor is just raining down double yellows for her. But this is exactly what she needs. Savage going to be out at an 807, and she will now be taking game number two.
Woo!
So GG to Savage. And man, you never feel safe in this match. And look at what
Mhm.
Adelito's setting up. This is great.
Yeah,
Now he just needs
exactly.
to yellow.
As Savage was getting out, he was taking care of a bunch of pills on his board. He's gonna be out at an 824.
All right. And this is best of five. So this isn't even decider territory. This is just, let's make
Mhm.
it a best of three now. Oof. All right. So once we get our readies from our players, we're going to be ready for game number three. And we do have those readies. And here it is in three, two, one. Bills. All right, first time we've not seen double pills to start off for both these players, and neither one of them got one, so you can't really say the Doc's playing favorites right now. Savage probably would have loved to have taken those blues out horizontally. Is not going to get the opportunity unless she builds up quite a bit. I'm the first to tell you that is probably not the wisest decision. But
Mhm.
Adelito, hoping for a red yellow, is going to get it right here and make a nice combo himself.
Yeah, there's a lot of blues very high up for Savage, and you can tell she's trying to work around any of the garbage that she has, um, but she really needs blue help and needs it right now.
This blue red ideal for her. Um, the following pill, not so much. But she's trying to find just any use for anything that she's getting. But yeah, like you said, these blues are really essential. And playing on high speed, making plays like that can be really difficult. But so far, so good. Now she's hoping to avoid drop time. Meanwhile,
Mhm.
Adelito needs
Oh,
another
this
blue
double blue's
yellow.
great. The double blue
Yeah, it's
Savage is really great to avoid that drop time we were talking about.
That's definitely true. Adelito finally gets that blue yellow he's been looking for. That is going to make a lightning bolt for everybody. Those of you who are Mario fans out there. And I like this idea that he's got. He's going to try to get two more reds and then get a yellow down, dropping on top of the blue here and basically making that work out. But so far, the doc has not provided him with that, and it's not going to matter as Adelaide is going to be out at a 156. So he will be out of 10 first. Savage just needs these three blues and is out at a 206. So about a 10-second difference coming out of the first level.
Yeah, Adelito has a lot of yellow on his top line, and now especially not a lot of access to blue. Um, so again, he is, using that strategic garbage. He's looking that one level down, that we always like to say. So if you watch, all of that from the horizontal clear clears into what he needs it for in the next level.
Yeah, that was a conscious decision because that's not one of those that's just kind of obviously there. But Adelito goes, well, I don't have a use for this pill, so we're going to make a use for it. And Savage would have had an opportunity to make a double clear with that horizontal, but didn't quite see, I don't think, the yellow hanging out on the right hand side or decided it wasn't worth it. She looked at her next box, she did, and probably saw, hey, here's what you're going to need to just clear it up cleanly, and chose to do that. So, again, this is as much an art form as it is a science here in Dr. Mario
Mhm.
Speed.
And Adelito with a very nice cascading horizontal clear. I love doing those, so I could see he was setting those up. He had um, couple of doubles at the bottom of his board. He just needs one more red, and he's going to be out at a 340.
Yeah. And Savage not too far behind, only down four viruses at this point. But, Adelito's going to get that opportunity to move things forward on his board. And those first few viruses that you clear in a level are usually the fastest. Savage going to have to take these last two blues vertically. Going to get what she needs out of the 409.
And Adelito with a drop cross. Not sure if that was intentional. I think it just was a little bit of luck with what pills were placed where. Um, but of course, Adelito making the best of everything, um, dropping all of that down. He consciously decided not to use one specific pill to start the clear. He's like, I'll just wait for one more pill. and then we'll do a bigger clear.
Meanwhile, over on Savage's board, she's only five, or sorry, seven now viruses down. Has been making a lot of good progress on a very compressed board. This particular
Mhm.
set of pills not going to be helpful for her, but yeah, she's made a lot of progress. But now you turn around and there's Adelito who has managed to make it 16 viruses now in just the amount of time it's taken me to talk about it. He
Mhm.
is playing a lights out game right now and is already out at a 523. So one more level
Oof.
and we'll see what he can do with this one.
Yeah, and his top line is pretty good. Once he can get rid of this yellow, he has a lot more access to red, though to be honest, less access to yellow. Um, but Savage, I like what she's setting up on the bottom of her board. That fat log, half trash, um,
Treasure.
half pills.
Yeah, but she needs blue help and she needs it yesterday.
Hmm.
Unfortunately, having to take out things in not the most efficient pill-wise manner, but what will be the most efficient as far as not causing drop time and just simplifying her board. But she's going to have a massive mountain to climb in level 13 as soon as she gets there, out at a 628. And that is about half a level's difference now that she's going to be behind Adelito.
Hmm. And again, we have Adelito just setting up. He's got his setups, as he always does. Um, I think he's waiting for I think that blue red's gonna do it. That I don't know what shape that is. An H on steroids?
I mean, there's really, it can be whatever you want to call it at this point. Interesting
Oh,
drop there.
I think that he didn't manage to get that double yellow over in time. I think he wanted to tuck it in under that yellow in, column 8, but he was able to get, um, another double yellow to clear that out. He is waiting on blues now.
So again,
And really not getting a lot of them.
It's about a 15 virus advantage for Adelito. He is definitely in his end game while Savage is still in the mid game. Can just about call it for him unless the doctor is just really stingy with the blues. But at this point, it's a question of how close can Savage get. And so far, it's been pretty close. She's going to be down to looks like 17 as it is Adelito out at a 755. GG's to him taking game number three. And we're going to have at least four coming. And Savage with a begrudging GG. She was really not happy with the end of board RNG there.
Mhm. The last couple levels, um, Adelita was able to just fly through, and they weren't as kind to Savage. We do have readies from both players, and we have our countdown. 3, 2, 1, pills.
All right. So as far as Adelito's concerned, this one can be for all the marbles. As far as Savage is concerned, this one is to extend the game. Adelito with that 2-1 lead, and Savage again just coming out swinging just like she's been doing. Has an opportunity for a big quad here. Goes is gonna get it separately, which is fine. Uh, Adelito, meanwhile, is looking at not as double friendly of a board as what Savage has got, but is going to be able to do a lot with it. Uh, Playing well and having a good time with it. Nice tuck there.
Yeah, there were a couple of things, Savage did. She simplified a little bit of play instead of complicating it. We have seen um, some complicated play that has kind of gone awry for some of our players this month. Um, so she did kind of play that um, separately. She's doing really well. It is 4-5 right now. Um,
She wanted that to be two reds sitting on top, but she wasn't willing to
mhm.
give up the time, and that makes sense. Adelito, though, going to get this nice clear, and it's about dead even. I didn't catch the exact time for Savage, but it
There
had to
was
be
a
very, very close.
134 and Adelito was out at a 135.
Yeah, so these two just trading blows back and forth. Savage trying to keep her tournament alive. Adelito trying to end it right here and now. And I love this for Savage. Got the pills that she needed to make the combo that she wanted. Always, always a good thing for a
Mhm.
player to get that, and is just drilling down this board. Seven viruses ahead, and only about a 2 second timer difference.
Exactly. She is further down on her board, for the most part than Adelito is. Um, and she doesn't have as many gaps at the bottom of her board. There's a few of them, but there's really when you look at them, there's double opportunities around all of those gaps. Whereas Adelito, his first row only has 3 viruses in it.
Yeah, Adelito's facing down a possibility of an end game, just drilling out this right hand column. His column eight is it's double stacked, so it won't be as big a deal, especially if he gets the right pills. Oh, and that is definitely a misdrop for Adelito. He was hoping to have
Ooh,
that
yeah.
flipped over another way. So it's going to take him a little bit of extra time to get it done. But you look over at Savage's board, and she's down to needing just blues and about three more of them. And sometimes three blues can take as long as anything. There's one, there's two, there's three. Savage can be out at a 330. And gonna have a pretty hefty lead over Adelito as he's gonna be working through that right hand column
Yeah,
that
as hefty a lead as you can have with Adelito. Um, Savage knows better than anybody that any lead against him is not safe, so she still has to put her foot on the gas and make sure that she plays as best as she can to try to pull this one to a decider.
getting about a 13 virus lead though to start this level. And you know what? If you get that opportunity against a player of the caliber of Adelito, you take it all day, every day, and
Mhm,
you say thank you for it.
mhm.
Even if you have to hate the levels that you're looking at. And so far, it hasn't been any real problem levels for Savage. A lot of stuff available in combos over on the right hand side of this board. Adelito, a lot of the same. He's got that quad setup of yellows over there. He's got two doubles on the blues, and he's finding really good horizontals. I really like this one here. That's gonna work out well for him. And in
Mhm.
fact, he's going to get some garbage clears going out. Now just doesn't have a lot of access to red, but
Exactly.
is finding places for the ones that he's got.
Yes, I like what Savage is setting up at the bottom of her board. She's gonna get rid of that last yellow. She would love a red blue to set off that drop combo. Here it comes, and there goes.
I feel like
So
with his
she just
double
needs,
yellow,
again, a bunch of blues. She's gonna take the one out in column 1 vertically, but the other 2 in row 2, she's gonna take out horizontally. I think that's a very good, wise decision, um, not to try to take all of them out at the same time, but do what seems very logical in that situation.
here comes the ketchup and mustard. She is going to get out at a 544. But Adelito, close on her heels, is out at a 548, just a blazing 12 for him. And of course, Savage dealing with RNG at the bottom of that board. So again, every game we are down to the
Mhm.
wire. It's practically neck and neck. These two just putting on a show for you. And if you haven't already, encourage you to give them a follow. Make sure you keep up with what they're doing. If you're interested in playing this game, these two are players that you should be watching because they've got very good ideas about how this game should be played, and clearly it is coming out in their styles.
Exactly. Savage does have a lot of red on the top of her board, that she's had to deal with. Fortunately, now she's getting some of what she needs. Very nice, taking the double that way. But Adelito has just, again, just flown through this level and has a 19 virus lead.
Yeah, I'm not even sure where that came from. Last I had looked, he was behind by just the slightest bit, but
Hmm.
here he is, and there is okay, okay, yeah, he just did that. That's I'm done. I'm done
He
commentating this match.
he heard a ludicrous speed go and took that to heart, and he's gonna be out at a 7:22.
And he takes 18th, 19th place on the leaderboards. That was insanity. All right. And with that, that is going to do it for this first semifinal. GG's to Savage, GG's to Adelito. Stick around. You're going to want to watch the next one. You're watching the DRMC.